I've had this Philodendron Tenue for a little bit over a year, and I want to share you what I've been doing to get it this far. Now I'm not proud of what's going on here, but I'm very happy for what's going on right there and all this. Keep watching. How you doing? My name is Gerard. I'm an exotic plant collector, and I love plants. I love what they do to people when they get them. I love what they do to their homes, in and out, because you can't forget about the exterior plants, because all plants do belong outside. But I like to talk about plants. I love plants. I have a passion for plants, and this is a testimony of my passion. This is a Philodendron Tenue. I have a lot to say about this, but I won't take up much of your time. I would consider this a very easy care plant because from where it's been and how it got to me. It's an import from Thailand. Didn't come to me in the best shape, and then when it did arrive, after I would say a few months, it did start to decline, and I was getting like broken leaves, so it was deteriorating, and then I was slowly trying to figure ways to bring it back. So I really feel comfortable enough now to, tell you about the care for it, or matter of fact, I want to tell you I feel like I'm able to give you good information. And to prove it, I have it in a pot, in a sizable pot. This pot has no drainage, or that's how confident I am that this plant is like one of the plants that I really feel like I have fallen in love with. I thought it was a VHI. It has similar characteristics of a VHI. And I'm gonna put it down because you can see it has like kind of wrinkly leaves going down there. The VHI has the King VHI. I even posted it on Instagram saying it was a VHI, and I'm like, it's a Tenue. It's a Tenue. But everybody makes mistakes. But yeah, I have it in a pot that has no drainage. It is a philodendron, and it's a climbing plant. The leaves, they are thin. Like, they're not super thick. They almost have like a paper consistency. You can kind of hear it crinkle. But they're not flimsy. They're not flimsy like what plant's flimsy? This is almost stronger than like a pothos. So with that said, it's going to hold some moisture in its leaves. It has huge leaves. They're getting bigger. I hope I see bigger leaves. They're supposed to grow, I think, 2 to 3 foot tall. So this thing should be getting tall. I'm giving it 240 foot candles of light, 12 hours a day, artificial light. I actually gave this leaf, I was actually doing it was a time lapse, and I put it close to one of my grow lights, and I started to burn it. So it doesn't like very strong light, so don't push up the foot candles. My minimum, I'm gonna actually have to cut it down because it's growing out of its space, but maximum I'm gonna give it 250 foot candles, because I noticed that this one started to burn. And it's an older leaf. It is an older leaf, so it should be going, but after I had it in the light, it started to burn. So I know this plant does not like strong light and not too close focus light, because it could dry out the surface area and cause it to dry out the water in the leaves. So like I said, 240 foot candles is max I'm going to give this plant. I water it. I keep it pretty much slightly wet in between waterings. I let it dry out, and I let it dry out pretty much. Let's just say I let it dry out. Because I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I can explain it to you. I wait for the soil to get dry for a little bit, because like I said, I got in a very loose soil mix. It's almost similar to like a cactus mix. There's a horticultural charcoal. Let's see if I can get you a better. It's not zooming in too tough. Got a horticultural charcoal, orchid bark, perlite, pumice, sand, and wood chips. So it's a light, very light mix. I use the light mix because I have it in a non-drainage area. So I only use about, for this size pot, I have an exact measurement. I just let the water kind of graze the top and like fill up the top so it's totally full, and then I stop watering it, and then I allow it. I really couldn't measure it for time spacing, but it's probably 2 to 3 weeks. But I'm giving it 240-foot candles of light. Things may be different in your house, so if you just get one, use a pot with drainage. It's a philodendron. They're supposed to be like not that difficult to take care of. This one isn't. I just got an import and it just came to me bad, so I was able to use my skills to nurse it back to its condition that it's in right now. So I'm not trying to brag. I just feel happy that I got it to this point, and now it's showing me growth. My node spacings, they're pretty much not tight. They're not too elongated. They're pretty much uniform. I don't know if I can get a good shot of it. You see my node spacings, and I got some sugars on top of that. This red new emerging growth. I don't know if you can see the sugars in there. When it unfurls, it gets these nice color leaves, but it'll change to total green like these are. I need it on a heavier stick, but I have it climbing on this bamboo pole. And this is what the underside of the leaves look like. And like I said, I've had this with me for about over a little bit, I would say close to 2 years. Let's see, what did I say? Humidity levels, generally I'm like between 50 to 65% humidity in my house. I already talked about the soil. Pots, I would definitely, use something with drainage. I wouldn't go the same way I'm going unless you feel real confident on your watering and things like that. It's totally up to you. I'm going to propagate it, so I'll be doing a propagation video on that soon because it's going to get too big for the space. I don't have the spacing. My shelves aren't that tall, so I don't want it to get too close to the light. So I'll be water propagating it, and I'll show you a video on that. I did humidity. I'm feeding it. I'm not really feeding it because I have the non-drainage. I haven't fed it since I've had it. So I'll probably feed it this year very lightly to see what happens. But it's growing so much that I just did a soil change, so I didn't do any feeding. I did a soil change this winter, it was a 2020 winter. I did it around that time. So I'm probably gonna be feeding it until maybe August or September, maybe around there, just to see where it goes, because it's already taken off on me not giving it anything. I dust the leaves, I dust all the leaves. You gotta dust your leaves. I think it's still going for about like around $150 for a decent sized plant. I'm not sure how much that one is. I guess they charge you on like the amount of leaves that you have. But I kind of want to see how tall I can get, so I may or may not cut it back because I want those tall leaves. Every time you chop the plant back, it just slows down the growth. I kind of want that tall leaf type of vibe that the Tenue would offer that you would see in the jungle. So I may just keep it as is and wait till it gets super big, and then I'll start to cut it back and go from there, because the stem is still like almost the size of a pencil. So I'll keep you guys posted. That's just all I got to throw at you for the Philodendron Tenue. And once again, I am a exotic plant collector. I like to talk about plants and how I take care of them. That's what you just witnessed. And if you like more of my care videos, hit that like and subscribe button. I would appreciate your support. And you watching my other videos, I got a lot of other content to talk about that may help you in your plant journey. That's what this plant channel is about. And above all else, keep growing.